Hello, my name is Andrew, and I'm going to talk about Seinfeld.
Safety, all clear kind of situation. Yeah, but there's another level of safety that can be fascinating. Let me tell you a really classic, not one that showed the 90s became TV comedy series. Well, most of you, if you probably remember the voice of it. That's Frank.
This is my co-host. Her name is Dharma, and she's not facing the right way. There, Dharma, great, thank you. Wow. This is an electric fireplace that I couldn't manage to turn on. I thought that would have been a high-tech move. Fireplace isn't in the shot. Way out of the shot. Okay, and you can't tell I'm not wearing shoes. Fantastic. So, I'm going to invite everybody back to the little decade that I like to refer to as the 90s. Certain things about the 90s, consumer culture, media consumption, all this sorts of stuff had hit a kind of, what do you call that? It's like when critical mass. To such an extent that even educated people were watching 6 hours of television as much as what you might consider your typical uneducated television watchers. The elite class consuming television as much as other people. Why is this so? Aren't your educated people supposed to be reading books? Their subscriptions of the New Yorker? Conversing with famous people at fancy dining establishments, quaffing expensive wine before going to the opera, riding horses. You're not in the shadow anymore. Come here. There you go. But not sitting and watching 6 hours of television. What happens at this point when educated people are watching lots of television? The television needs to embrace this irony of these people stooping to this level. And you see it in commercials and starting in the 80s, super self-referential to the extent that we only really think of metafiction, the experiments of Donald Barthelme, John Barth, Thomas Pynchon, and the like, from the 60s. But now this is mainstream consumer culture on television, for God's sakes. And David Foster Wallace wrote a great essay about this. The brink of Seinfeld going on air. A show that epitomized this notion of being ashamed of being television, while at the same point, very much being television. Now this is very interesting to me because by the time I decided to devote my life to literature, I did not know that much about metafiction or postmodern literature. So I thought I was going to create this new exciting literature that was informed by television, but yet invoked certain criticisms about it. I wrote, for example, a kind of stream of conscious paraphrase of The Boyfriend Part 2, where George is desperately trying to keep his unemployment checks coming, and there's a weird love triangle between Jerry, Keith Hernandez, and Elaine. Then I started to realize that much of what I wanted to accomplish in my own work had already been accomplished by writers like Pynchon, Barth, Barthelme, and the like. And then on top of that, nobody really cared. There's not only not much more to go with the genre, but nobody really cares and there's no audience to begin. And then I started to realize that David Foster Wallace already had these issues and insights in the 80s, before Seinfeld, and then during Seinfeld, and then after Seinfeld, up until the point where I finally got into him in the moment that he was. Hey, so he writes this essay about television being a great kind of source of the voyeurism that writers naturally tend to need. And that they can ogle all they want, get all this material and drama without being looked at themselves. He was a very anxious young man, sweated profusely, and did not particularly care to have people look at him. I mean, I don't think he would have done this. And he wrote a novella within this book, working with John Bartholomew in the Funhouse, the great work that I thought I discovered, you know, as a 17-year-old and was going to carry on the tradition of. He already did that and moved on from it in 1987. Dharma, you're out of the shot again. Dharma, come on. You're out of the shot. There you go. Oh, what a great co-host. Who's the best co-host? You are. You're the best co-host. So this young man, making all these criticisms about television, are actually coming from a younger place, somebody that's even more self-conscious about the overwhelming omnipotence, more omnipresence of television in American life, and how much to describe and critique the American existence, television needs to be included in that critique. How it's inescapable, and to describe a world without commercials, without product placement, and without the triteness of television is not being honest or describing America as we've come to know it. And this is why television is so omnipresent in Seinfeld. That it needs to distance itself and trivialize the existence of television and talk about TV and have them watch Melrose Place and have them create a sitcom and have lines like, say, George claiming he doesn't need to be a writer writing a sitcom. What writer? It's a sitcom. Things of this nature. Have I actually said anything yet? I feel like I had some points. I guess the point is that I had certain notions about what I would do as a writer, what my accomplishments and innovations would be, but I've felt kind of stunted because I feel like it's very much been done already. However, I don't think anybody has made YouTube videos to promote their work. That's new, right? It's exciting. Right, Dharma? Right? Alright, until next time, don't forget about the 90s. Dharma and I love you.